Did you know? The Jovian moon has hundreds of volcanoes and is considered the most active moon in the solar system, sending plumes up to 250 miles into its atmosphere. The Martian day is 24 hours 39 minutes and 35 seconds long. Because Mars orbits the Sun slower than the Earth, there are actually 687 Martian days in a Martian year. The Milky Way galaxy is 105,700 light-years wide. It would take a modern spacecraft 450 million years to travel to the center of our galaxy. The Moon was once a piece of the Earth. The theory is that when Earth was a relatively young planet, it was struck by a giant object and this collision broke a piece of the Earth away to create the Moon. The pinpoint-sized light of a star hits our atmosphere only to be refracted by it, which sends it skittering off in a zigzag. That's the twinkle we perceive. The Sun accounts for 99.86% of the mass in our solar system, with a mass of around 330,000 times that of Earth. Did you know that the Sun is made up of mostly hydrogen with the rest of its mass attributed to helium? If the Sun had a voice, would it be high and squeaky from all that helium? The Sun is large enough that approximately 1.3 million Earths could fit inside, if squashed in, or if the Earths retained their spherical shape, then 960,000 would fit. But can you visualize that number of Earths? The sunset on Mars appears blue. Just as colors are made more dramatic in sunsets on Earth, sunsets on Mars, according to NASA, would appear bluish to human observers watching from the red planet. The Voyager 1 spacecraft will likely outlive planet Earth itself. The probe was launched back in 1977 in order to study Jupiter and Saturn and is now on its second mission out of the solar system. Space junk is any human-made object orbiting Earth that no longer serves a useful purpose. Scientists estimate there are about 500,000 pieces of space junk today, including fragments from rockets and satellites, and everyday items like spanners dropped during construction of the International Space Station. The Whirlpool Galaxy, M51, was the first celestial object identified as being spiral. The grand spiraling arms of the Whirlpool Galaxy are made up of long lanes of stars and gas, sprinkled with lots of space dust. There are about 3 trillion trees on planet Earth, and between 100 to 400 billion stars, approximately, in the galaxy, which means more trees on Earth than stars in the Milky Way. There are more stars in the universe than grains of sand on all the beaches on Earth. That's at least a billion trillion. There is a planet in our galaxy where the temperature during the day can reach over 1000 degrees Celsius and it possibly rains molten glass horizontally at around 4,500 miles per hour. There's a rogue supermassive black hole speeding through space at around 5 million miles per hour. Usually, every galaxy contains a black hole, but this one has been kicked out of its home galaxy, 3C186. There are rogue planets that have been knocked out of orbit just chilling out in the universe, and they could do the same to another planet. These rogue planets do not orbit a star, and so it's pretty hard to glimpse them. There is such a phenomenon as the Kessler effect, in which a single destructive event in Earth's low orbit could cause all satellites to break up into smaller and smaller fragments until the planet is surrounded by a massive cloud of shrapnel. There is floating water in space. Astronomers have found a massive water vapor cloud which holds 140 trillion times the mass of water in the Earth's oceans, somewhere around 10 billion light-years away, making it the largest discovery of water ever found. There may be life on Mars. Of all the planets in our solar system, apart from Earth, Mars is the one most likely to be hospitable to life. In 1986, NASA found what they thought may be fossils of microscopic living things in a rock recovered from Mars. There's a planet made of diamonds twice the size of Earth. The super-Earth, aka 55 Cancri, is most likely covered in graphite and diamond. Paying a visit to that planet would probably pay for the $12 million spacesuit needed to get there. Uranus rotates on its side for reasons scientists haven't quite figured out. The most likely explanation is that it underwent some sort of one or more titanic collisions in the ancient past. Venus has a bizarre environment. Scientists have found that its upper winds flow 50 times faster than the planet's rotation. They also found that the hurricane-force winds appeared to be getting stronger over time. Venus is the hottest planet in the solar system and has an average surface temperature of around 450 degrees. Did you know that Venus isn't the closest planet to the Sun? That is Mercury. You would think that Mercury would then be the hottest, but Mercury has no atmosphere, resulting in big fluctuations. Venus has a slow axis rotation which takes 243 Earth days to complete its day. The orbit of Venus around the Sun is 225 Earth days, making a year on Venus 18 days less than a day on Venus. Venus looked pretty much exactly like Earth does now around 2 billion years ago. But Venus today is a living hell. It has a suffocating carbon dioxide atmosphere and there is almost no water vapor. Temperatures there reach 462 degrees Celsius. Water ice was once considered a rare substance in space, but now we know we just weren't looking for it in the right places. In fact, water ice exists all over the solar system. We're able to have solar eclipses because the Sun is exactly 400 times the size of the Moon, but the Moon is 400 times closer to Earth. We've been exploring space for more than 60 years, and have been lucky enough to get close-up pictures of dozens of celestial objects. Most notably, we've sent spacecraft to all of the planets in our solar system. We're used to thinking of volcanoes as spewing hot molten lava, since that's mostly the way they function on our home planet. But in space, a volcano can spew water, methane, or ammonia, and, as Quartz explains, those materials freeze as they erupt and turn into frozen vapor and volcanic snow. You wouldn't be able to walk on Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, or Neptune because they have no solid surface. Uranus' blue glow is due to the gases in its atmosphere. Uranus' atmosphere is made up of hydrogen, helium, and methane. The methane in Uranus' upper atmosphere filters out all the red light from the Sun but reflects the Sun's blue light back into space, giving it its blue appearance. Neptune's moon, Triton, orbits the planet backwards. It is the only large moon of any of the planets that does this. This is known as a retrograde orbit, and astronomers are unsure as to why Triton orbits Neptune this way. Neptune takes nearly 165 Earth years to make one orbit of the Sun. That's equivalent to 60,190 Earth days to orbit the Sun once. Neptune has a very slow orbital speed of 3.37 miles per second, 5.43 kilometers per second. The International Space Station is the largest manned object ever sent into space. At 119 yards, 109 meters, long, the International Space Station, ISS, sits roughly 250 miles, 400 kilometers, above the Earth and is the third brightest object in the night sky. Any free-moving liquid in outer space will form itself into a sphere. This is because of something called surface tension, which is an imbalance of intermolecular attractive forces. The Black Arrow is the only British satellite to be launched using a British rocket. Black Arrow was developed during the 1960s and was used for 4 launches between 1969 and 1971. Only 5% of the universe is visible from Earth. 68% of the universe is dark energy and 27% is dark matter. Both of these are invisible, even with a telescope, which means we are only able to see 5% of the universe. Light travels from the Sun to the Earth in less than 10 minutes. The photons emitted from the Sun's surface travel across the vacuum of space at the speed of light to reach our eyes in only 8 minutes and 20 seconds. The Earth's rotation is slowing slightly as time goes on. This means that days were shorter in the past. This is because of the tidal effects the Moon has on the Earth's rotation. Knowledge is power. I hope these facts could help you and you could apply in the future. Thank you so much for watching. See you soon.